Hello everyone. You all know how to communicate, and communication is a process, a two-way process in which the process starts with ideation, encoding, then we send the message through any channel, then decoding and feedback. I'm not going to discuss all these things. Today I'm going to talk about the barriers. Sometimes we do not understand the things of others. What are they trying to say? So what are the reasons behind it? If you analyze this picture, you will find a teacher is teaching the class and few students are in their own world. Few are reading something, few are sleeping. It means it differs from one person to another person also. So let's understand in better way what is noise, what is barrier. So noise is a kind of any interference in communication process which causes hindrance in proper transmission of message. Let's see, I'm speaking in front of you and suddenly I hope you could understand that whatever I was speaking, just because of the mic problem, it could not reach you. So that is one of the reasons of miscommunication. That is one of the reasons for barriers. So noise is of two types. The one is channel noise. The example which I gave earlier is the channel noise, and another one is semantic noise. What is channel noise? Channel noise is any unplanned interference and hindrance in the process of communication is known as channel noise. If I ask you to go through, to observe this picture, it's an old model TV, but the network is not properly being received by the TV, by the antenna. So there was a horror show, you were so excited to see what is going to be next. But just because of this problem, network problem in the channel, you could not understand. So this is channel noise. Now the semantic noise, as I've told in the process, encoding or decoding. Encoding is being done by the sender, decoding by the receiver. So again, any unplanned hindrance or interference in encoding or decoding is known as channel noise, semantic noise. Now, if you again observe this picture, you will find a teacher is asking, what do you mean by surrender? So just analyze the picture. He has said, I give up, means I don't want to give the answer, I don't know. And in the same way, he has already given a kind of answer. So this is semantic noise. Now let's understand what is semantic noise and what types of semantic noise are there. The first one is intrapersonal semantic noise, interpersonal semantic noise, and organizational semantic noise. Intrapersonal, when we talk to ourselves, within self. Fine. So just to make you more understandable in terms of remembering this particular thing, you can say the common causes for interpersonal barrier is WWV CID. So the first reason, why I'm telling you the reason, because if I got to know the problem of anything, so definitely we can avoid that problem in near future. So in that case, we must understand the reasons. So if I say, can you read it? Those who know Japanese, they can read it, but others cannot. Just imagine I'm in the classroom and I'm introducing myself and I say, Watashi wa Kumar Shavan this, Watashi wa Indiana this. This you will not understand, except those who know Japanese. Because I spoke in Japanese, this is my problem of a sender who could not understand the receivers, cannot understand Japanese language. Fine. As I asked you, can you read it? So the first sentence you could not read, but now everyone can read. It's written Watashi wa Takeshi desu. And if I say, did you understand? So you could not understand, but now if I say, my name is Takeshi, so definitely you can understand it. So once we assume that whatever I am saying can be properly interpreted by others, that is the problem. We should always respect our audience to whom we are talking. We should understand and we should know that can that person understand English, Japanese, or can that person understand the words also which I am using? Maybe I am using some technical terms. So in that case it will be problematic for others to understand. Let's again another example of a doctor. A doctor, what is doing? He has written tablet so and so OD, tablet so and so BD, capsule so and so SOS, and he assumes that patient knows what to do with these medicines. So that is the reason of one of the barriers. That is wrong assumption. We should not assume on our own. We should understand, we should respect our audience, we should respect our receiver. Now, if I say the second one is wrong inference, and I ask you, can you please read it? What is it? Can you please observe? What is it? So, most of you can say a person was lying down on the desert and he drank cola and now he's running. So, he was energized. This is a real case study of one of the companies. What happened? This advertisement was prepared for one of the Muslim countries. What happened? In Muslim countries, people used to read from right to left. This is in their culture, this is in their habit. So in Muslim countries, they started interpreting in a way a person was running. When he drank cola, he fell down. So obviously, the sale of cola was not well deserved. How do we infer the things? We infer the things as per our own understanding. And we conclude anything without verifying the facts. Now the third one is varied perception. You know, we all are from different parts of country, even different parts of world. And our upbringing is also different. And it is definitely different from one person to another person. If I say, it's a very common example. Some person can say it's a half full, some can say half empty. Again, depends on perception. Now, I'll give you a second example. If you observe this, one person is saying it's a 4 rods, one person is saying 3. And if you critically evaluate this picture, you will find that both are correct at their own end. So in communication, as we said earlier also, that communication is a two-way process. One should, whatever saying, that must reach receiver. So if I wanted to say that today I'll let you know how you can overcome the barrier, so I should talk only that thing. So perception also plays very important role in miscommunication. So one should not perceive the things on his or her understanding. What should we do? We should open our horizon of understanding. Fine? Now, if I say, please look at this picture. And when I was taking this lecture in the physical mode, many people said, sir, it's autumn. It's a beginning of new world. So see, again, different person, different options, different answers. That depends totally on others' perception. And how does it happen? Just because of the categorical thinking of other people. And there's a technical term that is pan-sophism. You must have come across many people who say, I know everything. Whatever you are saying is wrong. So it is very difficult to talk to them because they will not allow you to say anything. Because whatever you will say, they will say, no, it's wrong. So this kind of categorical thinking is again one of the reasons of miscommunication. Now, impervious categories. And there's a word, a technical term, that is misogynist. Misogynist, a person who dislikes novelty. And a person can reject the idea, person can avoid the idea, or person can distort the idea. Totally depends. A person who is living in today's world, and he's using everything, but he says whatever he's thinking is correct as per their own ancestors. Like if you see this picture, things will be very clear, like what was good enough for my prehistoric ancestors is good enough for me. But today he's living in today's world. Can you see this kind of person in today's world? Will you accept this kind of person around you where you are living with proper dress? But this person is not wearing proper dress, although he is wearing something that belongs to prehistoric age. So we should ready to accept the nobility. We should ready to accept new things with, again, open-mindedness. Now, we all, as I've discussed, that we all are coming from different backgrounds. So we should also respect the other background also. We should know from where he's coming. Just imagine if I'm giving this presentation in front of villagers. I'm not saying villagers cannot understand English. They understand very well. I'm also one of the villagers. But if I am going to talk to the farmers, those cannot understand English, and I start speaking English, do you really think it is going to help? I believe you will agree that no, it cannot help. See, this is again one of the pictures which you can easily understand that a person is asking, would you like to be my friend? So that person was in the social media. So he's saying, which friend? Twitter friend? Buzznet friend? LinkedIn friend? So the background from where I'm coming, we need to easily understand. If I'm coming from a remote area, so I need to respect both the cultures. It may be possible that I do not understand English, but I can communicate. Fine. See, wonderful example. If I ask you what is it, I'm damn sure most of you will say it's a car. Most of you may say it's BMW. Most of may say it's a Ferrari. Depends from our background. But this is real survey. I showed this picture to the engineers and they said, my dear, it's an engineering marvel. And when I showed this picture to the salesman, they said it's a masterpiece. See the difference. Same thing, but the approach, the background is different. Engineer is saying it's an engineering marvel. Salesman is saying it's a masterpiece. And common people like us, I can say it's a car. So one needs to understand the background also, by which whatever I want to say, that can be communicated to the same person without any hindrance. You must have come across in your life that you must have said, no, I didn't mean this. I wanted to say so and so. Why? Because you thought that this particular word or sentence or the tone even you have said that cannot be understood by others very well. Now, interpersonal. This was a thing either in encoding or in decoding. Now, when we are talking, both of us are sitting. So again, some certain causes, just to make you remember, you can easily understand. Pencil C. P stands for poor listening skill. E stands for emotional outburst. Noise in the channel. Cultural variations. Incongruity of verbal and non-verbal messages. Lack of vocabulary. And communication selectivity. So the very first thing, poor listening skill, you all are very much aware. If I'm speaking, if you are watching this video, and you are not listening to me, simply you have opened your desktop or laptop or your iPad, but you are not listening to me, then you will not understand what I'm saying. So in the same way, if you observe this picture, so a person is giving the presentation and one of the employees maybe is saying, when will this meeting be over? Means he's in different zone. So whenever you are talking to anyone, it's my advice to all of you, please do not listen or please do not talk to others to give some reply, but to understand. Please listen to them very carefully. Anyone, I am saying, if you're talking to your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your any near and dear ones, please do not listen to them just for the sake of reply. Listen to them just for understanding. Fine? Now, emotional outburst. I hope you all have gone through the sweet fight of your parents. And just imagine, in the morning my father said, in the evening when I'll come back from my office, I will purchase a dress for you. Fine? But when you came from your college and in the evening you saw that father and mother sweet fight, they all are fighting on any petty issue. So do you think you will be able to say that, father, you said that you will purchase that dress for me? I think no, you will not say. You can also understand like this. If you are upset and your best friend comes at the time and he said, hi, how are you? So you will not reply in the same way. You say, okay dear. Most of the times you say, please let me alone. Why? Because emotional outburst. So if you are emotionally disturbed, then you will not be able to speak. Even if you remember the World Cup of India, when Sachin started to speak something, Sachin Tendulkar, then he was in tears and he could not speak properly the first 2 or 3 sentences. He was so happy, but in happiness he could not control his emotions and he could not speak properly. Fine, but although with the help of his gesture and postures, it could understood by others very well. So one should always observe the emotional outburst of sender or receiver. If you are emotionally fit, you can speak anything. If you are not, I can give another example here. Like if you meet someone who is very upset, very upset, maybe he has lost or she has lost someone who was very dear to him or her. In that case, you cannot smile in front of him. So the communication barrier. The third part was noise, which we have already discussed, so I think there is no need to discuss. But again, just to reiterate that noise is any unplanned interference or hindrance in the process of communication. Now, cultural variation. If you see the picture, see a Japanese, he is bowing down to greet others, and an American or Brit, she's saying, how are you? She's shaking a hand. So there was a barrier. There is a barrier in the picture, you can easily observe. So one should know our culture also. In fact, I will share a story. Once upon a time, I went to Kolkata to one of the friend's home. When I reached there, my friend's mother asked, Jol Khabi? And I was not aware with this language, Bengali language. And I said yes, because I heard Khabi. So I was so hungry. I said yes. When she came with the glass of water, so I was surprised. So whenever you are talking to someone, whenever you are going somewhere, you must know the culture of other country also. You must know language also. A little bit. In fact, you can understand whatever they are saying. Fine? So cultural variation also plays very important role. Now, incongruity of verbal and non-verbal. This is again very important factor. If I say, let's see, just imagine that this is a classroom. You all are sitting here, and you are doing something, and you are not concentrating in my class. So I want to scold you and I say, what are you doing? You should pay attention to the class. And the second thing, if I say, what are you doing? You should pay attention to the class. So the congruence, whatever I want to say with the help of words, that must be communicated with your facial expression, with your gestures. Like if I say, sit down, so you can easily understand. But if I say, sit down, so you will not understand, you will get confused. I'll give, see, if a girl made something, prepared something, and he asked his daddy to see, then he said, okay, please tell me what do you want to show. So in that case, there is a barrier. Now, this very important sentence, if I say, the left turn is the right turn. If just now, please observe me. If I say without using my gestures, if I say the left turn, let me share a story. Once upon a time, I was going somewhere and I wanted to see someone, but I could not get that address. Then I asked someone, Mr. X, how can I reach there? So he said, without using his gesture, he said, the left turn is the right turn. I could not understand. Then I met again someone. I said, excuse me, can you please tell me how can I reach there? Then he used his right hand and he said, the left turn is the right turn. And immediately, because I could not understand that, immediately I met someone else and he used his left hand. He said, the left turn is the right turn. And I was totally confused. Because when I see the right hand, he said the left and the right turn, then I understand the turn which has been left is the correct turn. But when he says left turn by using his left hand, so I feel the turn which is about to come is the right turn. So this is the very important, the role of gestures, postures. There must be congruence in your verbal and non-verbal messages, both. Please make sure you do it. Then, if I want to say something and so I wanted to say something but because I'm not getting that word, so lack of vocabulary also plays very, very important role in miscommunication. Maybe I'm talking to someone, I'm very fluent in my English and I'm saying some other word, but that word you cannot understand. So in that case, again, there will be a problem. Now, communication selectivity. We listen to someone. Let's say I'm teaching you. Most of you, those who are not well acquainted with the barriers, they will listen to me very carefully. In this world, many people know all these things, they will not listen to me. So we select what to speak. And I just want to give an advice to all of you. If you know what to speak, how to speak, and when to speak, then you can become a good communicator. Mark these lines: what to speak, when to speak, where to speak. You can communicate well anywhere. So we select. Just imagine if I am a student, I meet my principal, I say, good morning, sir. And just imagine, just after that, I meet my friend. Hi, good morning. So the expression changes. We select the people also. We select the experience also. We select the motivation. We select everything for our communication. And now the third part for any organization is NAFTI. These are the reasons. Means you can remember like Mufti Ji. You must have heard. So NAFTI, NUFTI, negative tendencies, use of inappropriate media, fear of superiors, too many transfer stations, and information overloaded. So the first one is negative tendency. In the organization, you must have come across many people, those always crib. They say, I can't do this. And they cannot communicate well with the other colleagues. They always say, I don't know why they have given this task to me. And then they stop talking. So if imagine you are meeting with someone who has this negative tendency, then you should talk very carefully. You should say whatever he or she likes. And as a manager, as an administrator, if you wish to conduct or if you wish to finish that work, in that case, you need to talk very carefully and talk in the same way in which he is talking, and you will get it done. That work will be done definitely. The second one is use of inappropriate media. Just imagine in an exam, in my organization, there was an examination and I didn't prepare a notice. What I have done? I simply asked my students to write, like on 21st this paper, on 22nd this paper, 23rd this paper, 24th this paper. So that is not the correct way at all, because few students, those who are sitting at the back, they cannot understand what I have said. They may miss some words also. So in that case, whenever you are talking to someone, whenever you are trying to communicate to someone, you should use the appropriate medium also. And in any organization, I have got an idea that this should be implemented in the institution, in the university. But somehow in my back of the mind, there is a fear. If I will say like this, so I don't know my boss, how is he going to take it? So one should be confident enough in terms of his or her thinking, and that must be communicated to the boss without fear. If you have fear, you cannot communicate, and again there will be a barrier. And you must have gone to many government organizations. They say, please go there, get it done, then come to me. Once you reach there, they will say, go there, then go there, and you get puzzled. In the same way, and you know, if I have said something to Mr. X, so Mr. X will use his own discretion to say to Mr. Y, and he will say with the spices to Mr. Y, and then Mr. Y will say to Mr. Z with another spices, and then you imagine the construction of that idea. So one should always avoid too many transfer stations in the organization. And if I'm too busy with my work, so do you think, just imagine you go to your bank even, there's a long queue and that person is doing some important task of the organization, then he will not talk to you even. Even you must have come across all these things in your organizations also. If a person is doing a lot of work, then whenever you reach his or her office, he said, can we talk later? So a person with information overloaded cannot talk, cannot communicate well. So I hope you could have understand intrapersonal, interpersonal and organizational barriers. So again, the important thing is respect your audience, treat them as you understand them well, respect the culture, and think twice before saying anything, that whatever you are saying, that must be reached. So for this, I think one should always follow the KISS principle, keep it short and simple. And if you have any doubt, reach me through mails, through my phone, through Twitter or through Facebook. Thank you for patiently listening.